I've lived here since 1981. I feel like this community offers a lot as far as safety. I think it's the small town friendliness. Also the progressiveness of it, that I know that we're moving forward.
It's just a great place to live, great place to visit, great place to have fun. A lot of times I get it from the same things from people. It's like, gosh, man, this place is great. Grand Park is great. The city, you know, a lot of times I feel like it still has that small kind of town atmosphere, even though we're a growing city.
Westfield reminds me of how my hometown was when I was growing up. Very, you know, small town, family oriented, but just a booming place. You know, with lots of things going on for lots of folks. So,
an overall well-rounded, diverse community that people want to live in.
I think that this is a great place for a business to relocate and bring a family in. Yes, and that is something that we do talk about, and bringing a family in to work for you. And I say a family, not just an employee, but bringing a family into a place where you have safe housing, you've got great schools, you've got recreational opportunities, and again, the proximity to so many things that a family can enjoy.
You've still got a little bit of that country feel here, but you're really close to a lot of great amenities. Part of that has to do with the youth sports in this area. With the addition of Grand Park, you're seeing a lot of soccer, a lot of baseball over there.
Roughly 5,000 soccer players will be at the new Grand Park. That's an area that was all cornfields just a few years ago. Westfield is expanding the number of sports facilities available at Grand Park.
We have already booked for 2016 13 different tournaments. We have camps. We'll have leagues, men's, women's leagues.
Well, now in its second full season, supporters of Westfield's Grand Park say the investment is paying off.
Westfield leaders estimate the park has kicked $43 million into the local economy. As more work is complete on this massive project, that number is only expected to go up.
But the existing programs that were here even before Grand Park was here, with WYSI and WYSA, with the soccer, and WYSI does a lot of sports here locally in the Westfield community and has for a long time. For most of the younger kids until they get up into the high school age area. But even still, you know, you're looking at the trails, the sports, the schools. You know, again, you're close to a lot of things that you can participate in downtown, Indianapolis, and Westfield continues to grow, you know, and they're going to bring more amenities up here, I believe, and there's going to be a lot more growth coming as well. And again, a lot more opportunities for people to engage here in Westfield, which I think is great.
You asked me a minute ago about what people tell me about coming here. You know, I meet people of all ages. We meet young families that rave about our schools and rave about the quality of life. But it's young families with, you know, 2.5 kids. And recently we are seeing a lot of new folks moving into town that are the seniors, people my age, that are saying, you know, I'm now retired, I can live wherever I want, and they choose to live here. And one of the reasons they choose to live here is because their children and their grandchildren live here. They want to enjoy life, they want to enjoy the things with their family, and they love being able to go out in the trails and go into the parks and really add physical activity and quality of life to their current lifestyle.
We've got a great community, really fun people that live here, and some cool amenities. You know, I've moved a lot of people here that had never even thought to live in Westfield. But once you show them what's going on, they think it's cool. So, you know, they love the one-off restaurants. They love the events. The events are cool. Connectivity. When you start explaining our trail systems to people, or even showing them the trail systems, it's mind-blowing once they start looking at them.
I don't know if it's just random or if I know a lot of people, but I can go just about anywhere and know someone, whether it's from high school or if it's from a business contact or if it's just from a parent that I've met on the soccer field. And I just really feel that I cannot be the only one that experiences this at the Walmarts and the Targets. And I just really think that helps our communities because, you know, had lived in other places, and I might know that person over there, but they're not going to go out of their way to say, hey, how are you? I think a great example of a successful community is one that's safe and one that attracts new people and keeps the current residents happy as well.
I've always heard about Indiana when I first moved down here from Detroit. Just Central Indiana in general was a great place to raise a family. Our school is wonderful. The neighborhoods that we patrol, the people that I come in contact with are really accepting. I was speaking to someone yesterday as I was doing my foot patrol in Menards, and it was a person in there, and he and his wife, and just making a long conversation. And I try to find anything to find dialogue with people. And they were buying a saw. And I started talking to them about the saw and things like that. And, you know, and I said, well, where do you guys live? Oh, we live in Westfield. We live in countryside. You know, and, you know, just being in those communities and things like that, you start finding out different things. Then first thing you ask is, well, we're going to be going on vacation. And, gosh, you know, we're going to have our neighbors looking out for a house, stuff like that. So, you know, let's do this. Call us. Let us come up to your house and do a foot patrol. You guys are going to walk around my house? Yes. I really believe, and I think a lot of officers that we have really believe the thing of, you know, and it's kind of cliche, but the citizens pay our salary. Well, they do. And they expect a level of service.
I think to me, community is coming together through good times and bad. And we've certainly had our share of both. You know, within my school community, we had a student diagnosed and with cancer, and you know, it was such a tragic thing, and he ended up losing his battle. He was diagnosed in kindergarten, and then ended up losing his fight in 2nd grade. And this community, it was, for as tragic as that was to see Spencer go through that, you know, we had firefighters coming in to visit him, police officers, the parents at my elementary school were delivering meals and collected money to help pay medical bills. And so, you know, it was really neat to see us kind of wrap our arms around that family and really help support them. And, you know, not just people that knew the family, it was just this entire community came together.
I think that we've got the best of everything right now. You know, we do have that small town community feel. You know, you can walk down the street and people will speak to you and say hi and ask how you're doing. Or people, you know, I get people all the time that come in and just want to talk to me as a person, you know, and we chat back and forth. Well, what's going on? You know, what's happening with your kids and that sort of thing. So we do have that small town feel, but, you know, anybody with a heartbeat that walks through here should know that something big is happening. And I think it's very cool that we've got the best of both worlds.
You know, we all come from different backgrounds and different places in the world. You know, I made the big move from 32 to Noblesville to Westfield, you know, but there are a lot of people in our community that are from all over the United States, and everybody has that history, and it's so important to know where you came from and know that history, and that's the same with our city.
Well, I'm a history buff. I love history. I was one of the founding members of our Westfield, Washington Historical Society, and I was just thinking about that the other day, because right outside this building is a time capsule that we buried that is to be opened, I think, in 2034. I'm not sure I left instructions on how to find my kids, but there's things in there for them. But I think it's important. I think that when you know your history, it helps you feel closer to your community, maybe a little more protective of your community, knowing what all our predecessors put in to get us to where we are, to not forget that. But then again, I love history, and I love all that brings to the table.
The building itself's got a rich history. It was built in the late 1800s, 1860s to 1870s. We don't have an exact date. So it originally started out as a blacksmith shop, and then over time, over the years, it evolved into a number of different hardware stores, and then obviously a fine dining restaurant, and then eventually Grand Junction Brewing Company. We were actually shown the building by one of the city officials, and we fell in love. immediately. We walked in and it was the character. It was the character of the building and what it represented. It was part of Westfield history. And it was something that we felt pretty strongly about bringing a piece of the past and then bringing that forward into the present with a new brewery here in downtown Westfield. So it made sense for us. Well, I think Westfield gets it. I think Westfield understands that you have to remember where you came from. I think you have to obviously pay homage, if you will, to the past, and you have to respect and certainly consider where the city and where the town previously, before it became a city, where it all evolved from and where those roots come from.
You know, the opportunities, I think, are endless for Westfield going forward with the growth, the economic development that's coming, the businesses that will be coming to Westfield. And I'm excited. I really enjoy Westfield. I look for the future of Westfield to get even better. And that's why I continue to live here and love it.
We've got so many ways that you can get involved in being able to see that growth. I mean, going through the Grand Junction Task Group, we talk about downtown neighborhoods and what neighborhoods used to be called. And to me, that's incredible. They had, you know, there's 4 or 5 different districts within our downtown that used to be named something completely different with 3 or 4 homes, and that was a neighborhood. And now we're at a much larger neighborhood.
I think my parents moved to Westfield when I was in 4th grade, and that would have been in the late 70s, and it has just been great to see Westfield really grow and, as I said, maintain that sense of, you know, country farming community, but at the same time grow and really just bring so many other opportunities to the community.
Since the beginning, when I first came into this position as Parks Director, one of the major goals was to get the trail system built. The Monon Trail through Westfield will be the longest section of the Monon. It's an incredibly successful trail. It's been recognized nationally, but most definitely within the state. Then there's park development. I think for me, the most exciting park will be Grand Junction Plaza. As we talk about the community, we talk about its heart and its soul and having a central place to make connections. And I believe that Grand Junction Plaza will be that place. Will be a place, in my mind, that whenever you're looking for something to do, that you can always come to the plaza because you know there will be something to do. Whether it's just eating, getting something from a food truck, listening to poetry being read, listen to music, or just visit with your friends that say, let's meet there. And I just can't wait till we actually break ground and get this park started.
After opening up on Park Street, which was really a spot where a lot of people kind of question why will we open up on Park Street. You know, a few months later, Greek's Pizza opened up next door to us, and now we have Italian House on Park, which is right next on the other side of us. So it's really become kind of a mini restaurant hub back here, and it's turned something into a why would you do that into a oh, I see it now, I see the potential. And you know, with everything that's progressing with the Grand Junction project, everything's kind of falling into place just how we like it.
Probably one of the questions that I get asked more than anything else is, okay, we're growing fast, the economy is behind us right now. What do we do to retain this elusive small town atmosphere? And I think there's several things you do. First, you have to have a good commercial tax base, which Grand Park is obviously providing for us. But I think we have to take a true look at ourselves and say, all right, we have this opportunity to literally grow as much as we want. And the question that we need to answer is simply, how big do we want this community to be?
I think there's a great friendliness that exists between the administration and the community. And I think they're open, obviously in a community that's growing, there's going to be, not everybody's always going to be on the same page. And I think it's important when there is a question or a sense of conflict that it be brought, that's where that approachability becomes very valuable, because you can bring that to the person that you have an interest of talking about that with. And I think that's open. I think that's an open conversation that's waiting to happen.
You know, I moved here and immediately kind of I fell in love with the city, and I wanted to get involved. And the first thing I did was I went to a city council meeting. And I went up to our city councilman. I went to Cindy Spoljaric, and I went to Bob Horke, and you know, I went to all of them, and I said, you know, I'm a young professional. I'm here in Westfield, just moved here. How do I get involved in this city? So what I would suggest for anybody is you get as much as you put into it. And as soon as you find something that clicks and it kind of fits your schedule, be a part of it, be passionate about it. That's what I did. That's really how I got more involved, was going to those things, raising my hand, asking questions, and you know, finding my passion here in Westfield.
Hopefully, we can look beyond and look to the next generation, such that our children, who will have a great choice to go anywhere in the country, will come back home and take a look at this place and say, I want to locate in Westfield.